Welcome. It is Thursday, March 24th, 2022. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversation show with your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. Let's see. Let me make sure that we are live right now. Let's go. I am having a ball today.
Mhm.
We are live. We are live on YouTube, which is the name of the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are live on Spotify, Twitch, Twitter, and my Facebook page, which I just made public, which is Sunshine Camila, Kamela. Please, of course, share, like, heart, do all of this. Get ready to ask some questions in the chat room, and we'll be able to go from there. Um, let's see. I'm not sure it's then. I'm able to. Um, it's showing that I'm live, so I'm not sure what's going on. All right, so let's get into the conversation. Let's get into reading this wonderful lady's bio, um, and get into this conversation. So we're gonna welcome Linda Hicks to the show, and we're gonna get into her bio of all the wonderful things that she do, that she has done, that is worthy of being on this show. So let me scoot this over some.
Thank you for having me on your show.
No problem at all. And of course, just to let you guys know, she's another person that came from my Big Brother main event,
Mm.
who actually one-on-one type thing, and we will get into that conversation of why that happened, how that happened, and her main storyline into hand in hand with main event. But we will get into that later. So it says Linda brings years of experience as an educator on the high school and college level as a certified teacher, supervisor, and principal, as a community organizer and educational advocate in northern New Jersey. Linda developed and created many sports, educational, and entertainment programs in the city and nationally. With her wide range of solid relationships within the educational, corporate, and political fields, she has been very successful at bringing corporations and communities together with an expertise and exposure of mutual interest to create a web of success for all stakeholders. Linda is knowledgeable in educational leadership, community and public relations, and program development. She also does business consulting, grant writing for corporate and small businesses. I need that like right now. In the sports world, Linda developed numerous camps and clinics for professional athletes in the NFL, WNBA, and NBA. She is currently the commissioner for the Blacktop and One Basketball League, having played in the EBC, coached championship high school teams, and has successfully pro athletes from her clinics and teams. Basketball and volleyball are her passion, which is mine too. She started the first boys volleyball teams in Patterson, New Jersey, high schools, and is the first collegiate volleyball coach for men's volleyball team at what is the name of the school? Because I do not want to mess that up.
Passaic County Community College, my boys out there.
All right. Linda does motivational speaking and is currently working on her book, referring to No Boundaries. Linda obtains sponsors and community engagement as a liaison and consultant with government, educational districts, corporate, and other stakeholders in order to implement new programs in different areas of urban development. which is so needed. Linda has mentored and trained many educators with curriculum and pacing of those disciplines with the concentration in science. She is coordinating the development of software and curriculum to incorporate smart community technology with the students from early childhood to the college level. This will enable the students to learn how to utilize artificial intelligence. Oh, Jesus. Electrical equipment, data, and microgrid technology of the smart city architecture and become the qualified managers of this evolving field. The program will be done in coordination with job and management training, including internships and on the job training programs. Again, this evening, I would like to welcome to the show Linda Hicks.
Thank you so much.
How are you this evening?
This evening, I am fantastic. I'm so happy to be here on your show, Sunshine. I heard so many wonderful things about you, and I know so many wonderful things about you. So I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Um, the first time I've actually seen, I saw a picture of you, and it was at the time of a conversation with Main Event about taking Blacktop overseas. And it was you, and I want to say someone in Africa, if I'm not mistaken. You, Main Event, Mark Bullock, and a gentleman from Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
That was in the picture. And I'm like, who is that? He said, oh, that's the commissioner of Blacktop. What? That is a woman, right? Say, yeah. Said, oh, we making history right now.
Yeah,
Super history.
women are doing their thing nowadays. It's a beautiful time in this world when it comes to women. We have a Supreme Court Justice woman
Yes.
Court, African American woman, Black woman. I mean, it is just an amazing time because people are seeing now that women are breaking boundaries. Women are doing things that now we're allowed to do with our education and just the push. So you could do things at home and you could run things at home, but you could also run an empire as well and be a good leader. It's good times.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that. And what I was seeing mostly in social media was even under pressure, she still smiled. Even under pressure, all these questions that they asked her, um, and she gave reverence of anything that I got out of that is regardless of what title she holds, she's still a mother, she's still a wife, and regardless of whatever, she said, "My family still is first." And so I thought that was like
Yeah.
the most amazing thing she could have said the whole time.
And she's great under pressure. I mean,
Absolutely.
the questions were just totally off topic, and she brought it back.
Absolutely.
Judge, this is really not what I focus on. It's great.
Yeah. So let's get into I've read a lot and I've seen from political fields to government to educational to coaching to all of these things. What um started your fire in getting into these areas?
My fire started with my parents. They instilled God, faith, and knowing that boundaries don't really exist. And so, I got to say, my mother and my father were very instrumental in how I am now. I just realized that if you really push and you put yourself in the position to be successful, it's going to happen. You just have to hold tight, have faith, and it happens. So my parents and God.
So going back to the beginning with your foundation, and that's what we're saying. It goes back to the foundation that you was laid before you that there is no boundaries. There's no limitations to whatever you want to do, whatever you put your mind to, whatever you put your faith to, it will happen. And we have to say speak it into an existence,
Right?
basically.
Absolutely.
When did you know? At what age did you know? Like, I'm different, and I'm going to explore being different.
That's a great question. I knew at such an early age, when I was 5, no, I could say 3, my dad was teaching me how to read. And I'd read books. And when I went to kindergarten, they said, we need to advance her. I got skipped. I graduated high school at 15. I was really young, but I was so into education. So I think at an early age, I knew I was different. I love to read, I love to learn, and I love sports. And all those things kind of came together. So, I mean, just as a baby, I just felt more mature. And I always was going to older people, wiser people, and getting information and trying to feed into that. And a lot of kids don't know to do that. So I just had older friends. I would speak to my grandmother. I'd speak to older people at age 5 and 6 and have adult conversations. So that kind of, showed me that something was different, really different.
Um, in the process of, I'm actually in the process of writing a book called Blueprint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going back to the beginning of, being conceived, all the stages we have to go through during learning stages. So I'm learning more about our capabilities and our growing and development, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I knew but I didn't know for real, and it was that when we're the importance of our voice. We can recognize voices while we're in the womb. And we learn languages before we learn how to actually speak. And why is it so important to pour into your babies in their infant stage, not talking baby talk, but actually talking to them? So we're always constantly learning on a faster pace than most. When they get the baby talk, they're confused on what they're hearing is not really a real language.
Yeah. Yeah, my
And
mother.
so when you said this of your parents teaching you at an early age of, sight reading, all of these different things, the child grows faster in their comprehension early when you start early.
Yep.
And so I'm glad it's a confirmation to me that I'm glad that we're learning these things at an early age to not only advance in your walking, talking, all of these things, but understanding that now you have the ability to expand and you're hunger for it. You're
Yep.
hungry for it.
Yeah.
So at an early age, you already knew that I'm different. I want more. I want the wisdom. I want the knowledge. And whatever avenue I can get that, you actually went after it versus sitting in the house not doing nothing.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that. My mom always said, I never talk baby talk to you and your brother. Never talk baby talk. We had adult conversations from baby. So I don't really know. I never knew baby talk, and I don't do that to children because that's how they grow. And singing, reading, doing things while they're in the womb, and then as they get older, but by the time they're in school, they're already ahead of the game. And
Absolutely.
I guess my parents, both educated, very well educated, decided to put us in that Montessori mindset where, at that point, they could just grow on what they already know because the brain shapes by age 3. You know,
Yes.
you've gotten most of your absorbed information by that age, and people don't understand that's extremely important.
I'm also again doing research. By the time you're one, you're able to actually do math and science.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we, throw in the building blocks and all these things to help them with their motor skills and all of this stuff. And we as adults sometimes dumb down what our babies actually can do. This is why it's important for when I have children. My babies will be in swimming classes soon as they're able to. Um, we're knocking out all fear. My children won't have any fear at all. That includes in educational settings as well as the physical part. So I'm excited to hear that your parents put you on the right path in the early stage, and it shows. It shows. Um, as a kid, being advanced, um, and skipping grades, how was that for you?
As a kid, I didn't want to leave my friends.
Hmm.
And so the first time I was told I was going to be skipped, I was literally kind of crying. I was like, oh man, my friends. But then I was thinking, you know what? I feel like I'm doing baby work. I feel like I'm doing baby work. And so I do need to move on. I told my parents, though, I said, I don't want to get skipped too many times because I like sports. And I don't want to
Yeah,
be a baby playing with older people. And then they look at me like a Doogie Howser, and they don't
yeah,
respect my intelligence because they
right.
think I'm a baby. So luckily I was tall, and mature. But I never really said anything. But yeah, it does affect you when it comes to your socialization, as far
Yeah.
as when you make friends a certain age and then you go back and now you're with the older kids. But I got used to it. It was part of the process.
Well, we do have some geniuses out here. And some of it is, on the hereditary part, but then there's the work that the parents put in with their child. Like I tell people all the time, with being a youth director in the church, your children are already showing what they're going to become when they're kids. But
Mm-hmm.
half the time we're not paying attention because we're like putting their life in their own hands. What do you want to be when you grow up? Don't ever ask them that. Don't ask them that. They're already mimicking and showing you really what God intended for them to be.
Yeah, and they don't really know, but they're gonna show you what they love and let them migrate toward that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes sometimes when we have boys, you want them to be in sports, but sometimes boys just not into it. And some girls, um, I'm gonna say this out just because I was a girl, I didn't want to do the skirts. I didn't like modeling. I didn't do none of that. I didn't like it. I'd rather be in some pants, some jogging pants, out here playing with the boys. That's what I wanted to do.
And you know
But
what?
at the end of the day,
The funny thing
mm-mm,
is, I was kind of sheltered, and then my
right?
brother wasn't. And I was like, wait a second, he could go out and play these things, play sports, and I got to stay in the house and do this. He's older than me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to join a team. Then I have to be able to get out because I got to go to practice. So my parents put me in martial arts at 5. They had me playing 3 instruments, and I joined a team. So by 6, I was out and about. Of course, it was well supervised, but I realized that I liked being active. It's important that kids get active. I even talk to my young adults that I coach. Stay active because you're going to have that for the rest of your life. You're going to grow into an adult that's going to always want to be active, and it's going to help you in your health. It's going to help your longevity. But yeah, at age 5, I started doing all kinds of things, and then I found the love of all types of sports. And I think that's what motivated me for a lot of things because sports is like, it's like life. You work with teams, you learn how to work with people. You learn how to excel as an individual, but you also learn how to work at your craft and how to work until you reach a certain goal. Then once you reach that goal, you work even harder. So sports completely relates to everything that you do in your life. And to this day, all the lessons I learned from my coaches and experiences and games, I apply that to everything that I do.
It's a
Absolutely.
lot of things that go into sports is not only for physically, it's mental,
Mm-hmm.
it's teamwork. If it's a sport for individual, it's for you to challenge yourself. Like I tell people when I play softball, at the time I had played, but then when I actually played with the team, it was let me find movies that will help me or training to help me outside of being with the team that once I get on the field, it's a wrap. It's done. It's not listen. So A League of Their Own was my favorite movie.
Oh yeah.
Favorite. Favorite. I became good. You know, Gina Davis was the catcher.
Hmm.
I became the catcher. I played catcher and I was first baseman. So two important pieces on the field next to the pitcher, of course.
Hmm.
But I embodied that movie like as if I was there. So sports do a lot of things. It opens a lot of doors, especially when you I'm gonna say kick butt in the books as well as on the field, you get more opportunity and more credit for being both. So when I tell you he was really helping my soul today. He was really
Oh, that's a blessing to me to know that because, okay, as a fellow female athlete there, it's not always easy. A lot of times I would go out on the court and they'd be like, oh, your boyfriend's out here. Oh, okay. I'm like, no, I got next. Or, I come out there and I do what I need to do. So I was, girly, but on the court, it was a whole nother, volleyball, track, basketball. I just transformed into someone in a zone because as you embody that passion, and then once you get in that zone, who knows what's going to happen once you prepare yourself for the opportunity and everything falls together. And that also helped me with my coaching career because now I know everybody doesn't start off good. And I always tell this story to my men's volleyball team, my women's volleyball team, everybody. First time I played volleyball, I went to the gym. I was a freshman in high school, and they gave me the ball. And I just knew I wanted to play volleyball. The seniors were amazing. And the coach was like, "Serve the ball, Hicks." I was like, "All right." So I got the ball. I was this little goober head freshman, all excited. And I go to serve the ball, and I served it straight up to the light, and the light broke and fell into the gym. I was like, and then there was silence in the gym. And I turned to the coach, and she was like, "Great, you got power." I was like, "Yeah, I got power." And you know what? That moment changed my life. She could have actually crushed me at that minute.
yes.
You
Mhm.
know what? She gave me the confidence to know, okay, Linda, you're going to do it. That's the power you need. And so I always embody that now when I coach. I say, listen, you're not going to start off great. This is what happened to me. They're like, you? I was like, yeah, me. But you see where I came. I developed myself and I worked hard. And so anybody can work hard for their goals. And don't let anybody tell you you can't,
Right.
ever.
I think my school, um, I think the year I started playing, I did everything in high school. I had to do something to keep my mind focused and stay out of trouble. So I was playing basketball, swimming, volleyball, track and field. I did it all. And so my volleyball team had an influx of Hmong students. Hmong. So they're all short. I'm probably the tallest person on the team. So I'm trying to add up in my head, like, now when you play volleyball, y'all supposed to be tall, to block and do all of these things. Undefeated.
What?
Short.
That's all right though.
Power in their serves, and they
Yep.
had a jumping ability that
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen before.
Yep.
And so when you take your mind out of the box, out of the norm, as I say, we're walking in supernatural. That was supernatural to me.
Yep. You're in the zone.
In the zone, literally. Like,
Uh-huh.
what? And then the stadiums are full because you're seeing a phenomenon. This is not supposed to be happening. But because it is, now you bring the attraction to you. And this is where I'm going with that. That brings the opportunities and the attraction, the positive attraction to you because now you're part of the supernatural. Now they want to ask you questions. How is that possible? How are
Yeah.
you doing it? Linda, how are you doing this?
Yeah, so true. That's so true. And I'm gonna tell you some of the shortest players I had were my best players when it came to volleyball. I'm talking about spike and back row, strong serve, just an amazing, amazing player on the college level and high school. My best players were 5'2", 5'3". You know, I have this one player. She's about 6 foot tall, basketball, and I remember now she plays in the WNBA. She could slam dunk as a kid. 14-year-old girl, phenomenal, phenomenal athlete. Essence Carson. She's from Paterson, New Jersey. Shout out to her. Um, she wound up going to the league. One of my good friends, Kim Hampton, plays in the league. Shamika Holsclaw, they met her. And I got her together with her, Teresa Witherspoon, another legend. And I said, listen, this girl's nice. Give her some words of encouragement, and let's just give her that boost because she's definitely going into the league. And sure enough, that girl is in the league. She had the faith. She was the first one in the gym, the last one to leave. She put 280% into everything. So, I mean, right there, people go, oh, how did you do it? That's crazy. No, she worked. She was athletic, but nobody sees the pain, the nights you're working, the sweat you're putting in, the early morning workouts. People don't see that. They see that supernatural ability, but a lot goes into it, as you can
Absolutely.
imagine.
And speaking of the work, um, everything that I read when we first started, it's a lot of work into that. Um, and have you ever felt like or felt pressure because you're a woman, in those different areas to go above and beyond to, like we do on the court sometimes. Look, I belong here. Like it or love it, however you want to. I'm still gonna do me. Did you ever feel like I gotta do this for the women? Did you ever feel like that?
No, I can say with all honesty, I don't initially think, okay, you're a woman, so this might be difficult or this might be different. I think there were things that I probably wouldn't have done if I thought that way.
Mhm.
Once it's brought to my attention, oh, you're a woman, nice, okay, then I think about it. But all I think of is, am I qualified? Am I passionate about this endeavor? And do I have the capability to bring this to the next level and bring what I'm bringing to the next level? And that's my qualification for myself. And then me being a woman is just an added bonus, you know. And I'm very grateful, honored, and blessed to represent women of color, of all Native American, Indian, African American, Asian, all the beautiful colors that we come in. I'm honored. I'm honored to be the men's volleyball coach at the college. I'm honored to do a lot of things. I have to give credit to my team, though. I make sure I have a good team around me because that actually helps.
Helps.
Like even my good friend Damon Williams, he helped me to run some major events as a director, as my VP of operations, and then I have an amazing assistant men's volleyball coach, Coach Crespo, who's been a head coach at colleges and high schools as well. But he came in as my assistant to really bring this men's program into where it needs to be. I have another assistant, Chrissy Concepcion. Um, I just keep a good team around me, and good people. I have an athletic director that said, you know what, why not start a men's team? I started a boys team. I'm all about that, equal opportunity, even if it's men or women. I grew up in an urban city. There were no boys playing volleyball. I go out and I see all these guys playing volleyball and on full scholarships. And I'm like, why aren't there any guys of color? Are they? I go back and I say, they don't have that opportunity because there's no teams. So I said, let me start some boys volleyball teams in the inner cities. And that's how it happened. I said, let me find a niche. I don't care if it hasn't been done. Let's make it happen. So I started boys volleyball teams here, train the coaches and set them out. So now I'm doing it on another level, on the college level. And anything I could do to push that effort, I'm going to do it. Because the more opportunities for young people to get scholarships, to get experiences, to stay off the streets, to get an education. I mean, there's so many positive aspects that go into that. And I'm all about community and pushing our people.
Absolutely. And that's one of the sports that I watch during the Olympics is volleyball.
Yeah.
Both inside and beach. And so I'm more like, yeah, you don't really see us in those places, but you know, most of the time in the inner city, we know we're always pushed into basketball and football. But there's other sports that we are honestly, I didn't watch golf until I saw Tiger Woods.
Yep. That's
I
so
didn't
true.
watch tennis, not for real, until I seen Venus and Serena. So again, now we have those people, those icons in those areas. Now you can see, oh, we can do this too, and we're
Mhm.
gonna come in and dominate. I'm just telling you, it
It's
happens.
true. It's so true. The athletic ability of so many of these young black and brown and yellow kids. Let me tell you, I'm like, why? Maybe you're not going to go to the NFL, but you could get a D1 volleyball scholarship. You know,
Absolutely.
you might not get into the NBA, but you might be able to play in the Olympics for volleyball. Try something different. Always try something different. You know,
Yeah, that's the part that I love. The fact that just getting out there. We like polo and all these other different sports.
Mhm.
Now we're getting it back into swimming. Um, because we
Yes,
got
guys.
it.
Yep.
Yes, we got it. We just have to, continue to pull somebody else up with us.
Yeah.
You can, if I could do it, you can do it too. So again, kudos to you for doing the first. Um, bringing male volleyball to the high school and to the college level. Kudos to you. Um, let's get into being a commissioner. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay. So the first thing I thought of was, of course, David Stern. And I said, okay. So now we're talking Blacktop Streetball Association. It's coming. I'm so excited to be a part of it. And this woman right here is going to be one of the top people that you're going to know her name. You're going to know her name. You're going to know her face, just like we did with David Stern. So, how did that conversation come about?
All right. Well, this is a story. I'll make it brief and to the point. Um, you know, I have the love of sports. My first love is basketball. All right. My final love is volleyball, but my first love is basketball. And so I was people would watch me play, and then I was asked to play in a league called the EBC Entertainers Basketball League
Mhm.
in Harlem. So it's a major draw for people who are visiting the city, um, people from the community in Harlem, and it's show basketball pretty much.
Mhm.
It's amazing, but I mean, Kobe Bryant, he came to our games. Jay Z and Beyonce. The teams were sponsored by like Fat Joe had our team, Eve had our team. So it was a combination of hip hop and sports. I
Mhm.
mean, it couldn't get any better. Everybody was
Mhm.
coming to the games, hanging on the gates, cheering. It was a vibe. So
Mhm.
one of my good friends, major basketball player, amazing, main event. So meeting him through the love of basketball, you know, you know when somebody's special. And not just basketball, but they have a brain, they have passion, vision. And a lot of times, athleticism is a small circle. And some people are making things happen. So I came back into my community all the time. And I said, you know what? This show basketball is amazing. We're doing big things over here. Let's bring it to New Jersey. So I called up some of the people, Shane the Dribbling Machine, some of the guys that play in the EBC, and I was like, oh, let's do it over here. So I do events. So I said, you know what? Let me plan this event at one of the colleges. All these guys came, so many celebrities. We packed the house, had to shut the doors. There's 1,400 people inside, 500 outside. The guys put on a show. The main dude, good friend of mine. And, we bonded over just doing things like that. And so over time, you know who you respect. And Main Event is the type of person that you could say, I haven't spoken to him in years, and he call or I call him, and it's like we spoke yesterday. Sunshine, you
Yes.
know the personality I'm talking about. You don't skip a beat. And even though we have crazy, busy schedules, it doesn't matter. So when he told me about how this whole process was coming together and Blacktop and Mark, he said, I got to put you on the phone with my boy Mark. I said, all right, let's go. So I got on the phone with Mark. They told me the vision, and I said, listen, this is definitely ordained. This is something that should happen for the culture, for the people, and there'll be a legacy in here. There's a legacy because there's so many great athletes, great people that have been involved and will again get involved. So my answer was yes, I will do this. And he broke the business plan, everything down to me, and I prayed on it. And I said, listen, if I'm going to commit to something, it's always 100%. And so I called him back and I said, yeah, I'm going to go for that. I'm going to do that and represent this well. All my resources, intelligence, and just to represent this league how it should be represented and make sure that everybody understands that this is something very special. So I'm honored to be the commissioner. And, I am grateful that I can actually show that this is a situation where somebody who's passionate and loves this sport and loves the people and all that can be a woman too and really make things happen because the world is going to see something special and we're a part of this. So
Absolutely.
kudos
I'm
to
excited.
for thinking about me and seeking me out because he found me through somebody else we hadn't spoken in a while. And I was like, yeah, Main Event, that's my boy, 100%.
Wow.
And Mark, you're the best.
I get the same results when I talk to every person that knows the name. And again, I humbly say this with all respect. Of course, it's all God, but Main Event knows some of everybody on every level. He could do what he wants. He can send what he wants. And he just said, like the 2 weeks ago, was it a week ago? When he took over my show to interview, have a conversation with me. He
That's
was
good.
just like he just felt in his heart it was the right thing to do to bring me aboard. Again, I've never met him in person to this day. But however, the bond that we had and we share and we continue to build on is a true friendship and family. Just like Mark, I'm on the top of the morning with them when they're praying. Two men praying together, bringing people um under one roof to pray, to have a conversation early in the morning, 9 o'clock every morning, not
Mhm.
just on Monday through Friday. They're on every morning. Whether whatever they did the night before, it doesn't matter. They're on at 9 o'clock every morning. They're both family men, which is awesome because again, um, when this takes off, this is another lightning in a bottle, and this is gonna be legacy. Sometimes we do have to go through, hit our heads a couple of times, but now this is fail proof.
Yeah,
We
it's
know,
a wonderful
we know
thing.
now.
Yeah. And I knew the passion that Main Event had. And I also felt that with Mark, who is, you know, pretty much the chair of the company as well. And when they brought me on, um, I said, wow, there's so, I mean, it's limitless what can happen with this. Limitless. So, those of you who don't know, you're in for something huge. I mean, you're in for something huge. I'm just going to leave it like that.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
names that you're gonna hear again, when we fell in love with them 20 something years ago, now in different positions, but they're still apart.
Mhm.
Um, just the how technology, how things have changed since then. Again, we have learned the lessons. Now it's coming back with those and something better. Um, I'm so excited. I'm like, the storm is still brewing in my stomach. Like, oh my God. And this is from a passion to seek them out. Like, are you guys still doing, conversations? What are you guys doing? And that's how I found Shane.
You know,
Shane then put me on Maine, and
crazy. I heard about how all this came together with you and reaching out. And it just goes to show, if you're led to reach out to somebody, do that. Because if you hadn't followed that, feeling that you had to reach out and just see what these people are about, and this would have never happened.
mm-mm,
You had to follow that instinct. And then, just hearing about you and briefly meeting you for a second before, I was like, Sunshine is a good person, and I was like, her show, oh, definitely. Yeah, just, I'll arrange my schedule. I told my
oh,
players, we were in practice in the gym. Some of them might be watching right now. And I said, listen, guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna talk on Sunshine's show. So I mean, you guys can check it out, but I gotta run. They're like, all right, coach, yeah, good, good, good. I mean, this is history in the making because you know the fact of how Maine, all the other players reconnected and then reconnected with the female that was involved in the EBC as well, myself. It didn't happen by accident. And then all of the young people that I work with, I mean, these kids are hungry. They're hungry for something special for their
special.
future, for their building. And I promise all these connections I have with the Board of Educations all over New Jersey, they're in for a great surprise. All these kids, all these young adults are going to see how this can be a part of their life and they're going to love the growth of this and they're going to enjoy it, just like when we were growing up, enjoying it.
It's multi generational because
Mm-hmm.
it's bringing back all of our ages who grew up on it, and they're like, "Do you remember? Do you remember?"
Yep.
And now you're gonna actually see and be a part of it. Like, I'm gonna tell my children that, listen, my life changed when this happened. When I met this person, I'm rubbing hands with not just celebrities, but they're so relational. And just to hear the stories of what and one did for everybody, staying back, um, autographing for everyone. So
Mm-hmm.
to say that you're gonna be one of the heads of it and a black woman is it like you said, it's gonna be history in the making. So again, kudos to you. Kudos to you. For those who are on Facebook, if you guys have any questions for this phenomenal woman, please write it in the chat room and I will definitely ask her the question. And again, hi to everyone that's on here that's saying hello to all the beautiful queens, and
Hey.
we getting so much love on here. It's almost want me cry, but I'm not gonna mess up my makeup. I'm not gonna
Oh,
do
I wish I could see the chat. I don't know. I don't know how
it.
to.
It's
I could
I
always
don't know. Sometimes people see it and
replay.
some people don't.
I could always replay it. I send love to all you guys out there. I hope some of my players are out there. I didn't really get to talk about it too much, guys, but I love all these young athletes that I get to touch their lives. Whether they go on to be professional athletes, but as long as you go on to be successful young adults, productive in your communities, passionate about yourself and your families, educated, well mannered, and genuinely kind to others, I've done my job knowing that you're successful in those things.
Absolutely. And I feel like having these conversations is for people to see the totality of you. They might just know you for a volleyball coach or a basketball coach, but there's more to Linda than that. It's more, as we say, we're looking at you, but let's get deeper into who you are. Why do you do what you do? And that's where I come in, the connector, get the help. For those who have questions or feel some type of way, like you might not ever meet these people, but you'll meet them through me. Like I met them through, it really is 6 degrees of separation. And you literally are one person away from where you need to be in your destiny. It's proven
Mhm.
fact. And so now we're here. And let's see. Let me Is it Thandi? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this. Thandi Hicks Harper? Tandy?
Oh, Tandy.
Thandi. I'm like,
Oh
oh
my
God.
gosh.
I'm so sorry I jacked your name up.
I just must say this. That is my sister, my biological, beautiful sister, my older sister who I love and cherish and is so amazing, Dr. Tandy.
And she says she loves you and appreciates her and her work. So she's sending love to you.
Oh, love you, sis. You motivate me.
Aww. Um. Oh, before we get off, and this is later. I still have time, but I wanted to get into the last part of your bio said about the technology and the curriculums into making sure that we're educated because it's coming regardless if we accept it or not.
Mhm.
Actually, it's already here. Um, there's a magazine that I write for. It's called Here Our City Media, and for years there's a technology seminar that happens every year in Vegas or Nevada, and it talks about all this robotic technology or things to enhance your businesses to keep up basically of what's about to happen. So they had told us a year or 2 years ago that eventually like the Walmart greeters will be eliminated, that they will be greeted with AI,
Mhm.
artificial intelligence. They were already testing the market with like Uber and all of these places that the food was actually being delivered by AIs. They're already testing these theories or doing it already. So again, this is important that the curriculum that you are developing or bringing exposure to is good for us to understand. And we be ahead of the curve instead of being behind the curve. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. You know, the urban community needs to have the exposure of this technology. And I'm talking about urban youth, I'm talking about communities, and the fact that we have to embrace our earth. We have to embrace the fact that if we don't see the different ways that we can create energy through solar, um, through wind, through water, waterfalls. There's natural energy out there that won't destroy the earth because right now, there's a lot of things that are hurting us health wise. That's a whole nother topic, and that's like my science background. I just the things that we're doing to hurt ourselves. So if we go more into the natural energy producing situations and we use that technology and that knowledge to produce things so that now you can sell your energy. You're generating into your own house. You could sell it back to the utilities. People don't know that is possible, but everybody's not sharing that. Also, to be able to run these microgrids, you could be 19, 20 out of high school, making a very good salary running this technology. So the training with this curriculum will put you in a job making $70,000 right out of high school.
Mm.
And you're certified to do things that, you know, and I'm a firm believer in college. I really am. I'm a firm believer in getting more education. But do you have to go directly, and I'm a lifelong educator. Do you have to go directly into a certain path? No. There's other paths. Everybody has paths. This technology and this information can be absorbed at a young age and put you in a position to be very, very comfortable. And you'll be doing things in your career that actually is helping your community,
So
saving
let me
people.
ask you this. Like I've seen a couple of commercials that talk about like the solar panels and things of that nature. I
Mhm.
haven't really seen like anyone who really have it in the inner city. Do you know why that is?
Well, there are some solar power companies that are talking about their panels and putting them on your roofs and doing certain things, but you're kind of renting them from them, or you're not really owning them. You have to be very careful about how you deal with that, or maybe you'll be in a situation where you're paying on it like a car note. You want to be in a position where you're making money. So there's literally a microfiber that you can put in your window that absorbs sunlight, and that energy can be stored in your house in a battery in your home. So if the rest of the city goes out, you have lights, refrigerator, everything you need as a self-sustaining edifice.
Mhm.
Now, I'm working with some engineers on that right now and how that would benefit islands. Because sometimes, like even in Bermuda, they lose energy for weeks, not days, weeks. People don't understand that. So they get a storm. Even when Puerto Rico got hit with their storm and lost energy for weeks. This is a reality. We just don't deal with that reality. So
Mhm.
this is needed all over the world, more so outside the United States.
Right.
But what would happen if urban youth could have that information and as young adults just control that industry? Phenomenal. It changed the history of a lot of people's lives. The legacy of their family.
Absolutely. Because I'm gonna say these electric companies, these bills
Yeah.
uh is a little too high.
Yeah, yeah. And some of them were taking advantage because how can you, say, people's bills went up $500 over COVID because they were home? No, no, didn't go up that much higher. Didn't go that much higher. But sometimes you can't, unless you're actually reading those meters and understanding how that works, you can get finagled. You can get in this situation. Damon, you know that word finagled. I know my boy Damon's watching. Um, you can get hoodwinked, but you gotta
Tricked.
you gotta know that information to not,
Yeah, absolutely.
and teaching those skills in school. You know how, when you're growing up, most families, and I'm gonna share this, and this is very candid, most families, and families of color too, wouldn't talk about money at the kitchen table because it would turn into an argument, about the bills, or it might turn into a fight, why'd you spend so much money? Those conversations have to be changed into conversations that are comfortable with the kids. You know, how much money should you save? Let's open you a bank account. Let's give you this, and you write out how you're going to budget it. These conversations have to be flipped in the community and in families, so that money
Early.
not early, so that money is not a taboo topic. If you go into most families where they can openly talk about money, that family is actually doing well.
I
They don't
agree.
have to be rich, but they're doing well, and their kids are going to be good. So we have to change that narrative in our families with the children.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. Um, do anyone have any questions? Of course, an hour go past so fast when you're having fun. It always happens.
It sure does.
You'll be like, "Oh my god, an hour then went past that fast." Yes, we're almost there. But again, this conversation has and an eye opener again to celebrate. Are we still in? Yeah, we are still in celebrating women.
Yeah,
This month.
that's
And
right. This
so
month.
again, this is the awesome time to do that. I can't wait to meet you in person.
Same here.
To actually have more conversation, candid conversations of, I find out more and more that we have more in common than we have different.
So true.
And listening and learning from you, I don't see too much of a difference. It's, we both have certain backgrounds, um, and what you started off with is where I am now with writing this book called The Blueprint. And I'm like, to hear main event talk to you about me and main event tell me about you is like, it was of course heaven sent and divine order. And everybody's talking about you right now on Facebook, and putting comments in about your character, your integrity, and this is what the world needs more of. Um, your the character, their integrity, believing in God, doing all things that are right, and helping people. And this is where we get our blessings from.
You know, I take no credit for the love that my parents poured into me, my faith in God, and one, I feel blessed to know everybody making these comments. I'm gonna go and read them later because I've been blessed to be able to touch a lot of lives, and a lot of lives have touched me. I was at Eastside High School working with wonderful young people and staff, and you know, um, just growing up in Patterson, and my dad being such a spearhead for African Americans. He was the first Black alderman. He paved the ways politically. Um, and now we have Assemblyman Benji Wimberly, and we have all these people now that looked up to my dad, who paved the ways. Friends with Dr. King, um, just an amazing person, and my mom as well. She was the first. I think she was the first Native American woman of color science teacher for Eastside High School. And they didn't have science teachers, women of color. I became a science head, a woman of color, and um, these things are now becoming more commonplace, just a little bit more, and it's going to
Absolutely.
keep progressing. It's going to keep progressing. More women in science, more women in math, more women in these engineering positions, positions of power, you know, and our brothers that push us and protect and lead and give us that strength to know, you know what, you guys are amazing. So I appreciate that as well. Definitely.
Last thing before we get off is, I would want to know what does a balanced life look like for you?
A balanced life. And you end with that, huh?
Yep.
A balanced life, I would say having the love, having the health, and having the positive energy from people around me to help me to be able to just keep being the true, genuine self that I am is the most important thing. If I'm allowed to be me, have my faith in God, and have positive energy around me, I'll have complete balance mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, and I'll be able to function. It's so important to have your surroundings able to support you and able to nourish you. And when that's not the case, it's time to look around and change those surroundings a little bit to make yourself more comfortable and successful in what you're trying to accomplish. So that's my balance.
Absolutely. I love it. Balance is everything. And when you're off, you tend to make bad decisions. You tend to slip up in areas you probably wouldn't. Whether it's getting rest. I'm gonna say that again. Rest,
Oh, say
sleep.
that 3 times.
Can't be going around with bags under my eyes.
I used to think I didn't need rest. I write grants at night, and I was just like, you know what, who needs sleep? And then I realized I needed sleep. You need sleep. No matter how good
Yes,
your genetics are, eventually it's gonna catch up to you.
yes. We don't want our bodies to make us get rest. No, 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 no. Yes. So I don't know why I felt that in my spirit to tell you you need to get
Glad
some
you said
rest.
that. I was just talking to my friend about getting sleep. Girl, you have no idea. That was divine intervention. I've been falling asleep at 9:30 at night lately. Not how
Listen,
it usually worked out, but yes, something told you
we
to
we
say
had
that.
to and I'm guilty of that too because I do so much. I'm always busy. I feel like sometimes if I'm not busy, I get in trouble. I'm too old to be getting in trouble. So therefore I'm keep myself busy. So I'm gonna say again,
Right.
that came to me, honey, you need to get some rest.
Yes, girl. I received that, and I am doing that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cause
you
we gotta
definitely.
have our whole the whole us because what we're about to embark on, we're not gonna have time to, oh, let me catch up, let me do all of it. No, because it's gonna be
That's
go
true.
time.
That's true.
So
And
we need
thank
our
God.
bodies at top notch. That includes me.
Yes, you too. So you can look like sunshine still. That's right. I want to call you like
I'm
sunshine.
like, hold on, I need 5 more minutes of sleep.
I'm not letting you do that.
So again, we gotta, from eating. I'm working on eating better. I'm working
Absolutely.
on eating better and
Drinking water.
getting trying to get some exercise.
Very good. Keep that alkaline, less acid in your diet.
I'm
Yes.
trying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm trying.
I got your back. We will have many conversations, all right, growing together in all health, nutrition. We can talk business, anything
Yes,
I could
ma'am.
assist you with, anything, you know, you let me know. I
Oh,
love
you gonna get tired of my phone, your phone blowing up because I'm like, look, I need help with this. I need help with
I
this.
got
I
you
need
back.
help with this.
I got you, sister. I got you back.
Let's see. Bianca has really been making a lot of comments on here.
I love
Um,
Bianca. Mi
yes,
hermana cubana. My
yes.
sister. Yes.
Maine is on here. Mark is on here.
Hey,
Couple of
fellas.
people. So again, blessings to everyone who stopped by to listen to this awesome, as I say, a phenomenal woman. And we are embarking on history. We days away from getting that call
Mm,
of when this is about to happen, and I'm excited in my spirit. It's going to touch many lives, and because they have the faith in us, and of course our walk with God is, we're gonna, oh my God, we're gonna touch so many people,
absolutely.
and
I'm
that's
gonna
what the world needs is blacktop. We're going back to the beginning, as
That's
we
right.
say, going back to the blueprint.
Gonna make me want to break out of basketball in a minute.
Um, so again, everybody, just remember to like, share, subscribe. We need to get this audience up. We have awesome, I don't even call them clients, guests that come on and share, be transparent and honest, and that's what we need in the world. Get all the advice, get all, like Linda said, she was going up to the elders to get wisdom. Get all of it.
Yep.
Because I refuse to let a lot of these people go to the grave with all they know and nobody tapped in. I refuse. Not on my watch. I just had main events cousin on the other night that's a pilot. And the thing that got me the most was he said, stay on course, stay on time, because once you're off and there's delays, the people behind you will now miss their connecting flights.
Mm, that
And I
is,
took that spiritually.
yeah, that's
So
deep.
therefore, I will not, I refuse to allow anyone else um to miss their connecting flight.
Yeah. And trust the process. A lot of people, they get off their flight before they get to their destination. You got to trust the process because you will eventually get to where you need to be. Remember that.
Absolutely. So, of course, we could talk for hours. But we are our hour is up. Our
Yeah.
fun time is up for now. Miss Linda had practice today and she needs to, rest and, get them vitamins back in her body and all that wonderful jazz.
Mhm. But you know what? Nothing could have stopped me from coming on today onto Sunshine's channel. Nothing. I can always
Oh,
get my rest. And I'm going to get it after we get off. But
right, exactly. I'm like, you have to get rest starting tonight.
there you go.
Absolutely. So again, everyone, thank you, Linda, for coming through. I appreciate it. I appreciate your dedication, your commitment to all youth, to get this education out here. Again, everybody like, share, subscribe, do all that great things.
That's right, guys.
Keep looking, for the show. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays is when I come on. Yeah, this look. You can follow me on my Facebook page, which is Sunshine Kamela. The YouTube channel is the same name as the show. Again, you are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. Again, thank you so much. And we are out.
Peace, guys.
See ya.
Love y'all.